Hi and welcome to Care Vision's activity sessions for people who are living with dementia. My name's Laura and I'll be joining you for today's programme. Now many of you may have joined us today having been part of the group sessions that we've been running in and around North London for the last 10 months. And for some of you this might be your first contact with Care Visions, so welcome to you. We look forward to having you with us. We hope by doing these online programmes to keep in touch with everyone that we've already met, as well as reaching more people, perhaps like yourselves, who are spending a bit more time indoors than usual just now. So today's programme will be aimed primarily at people living with mild to moderate stage dementia, and the programme will be broken down into 3 parts. The first part will be physical exercise. The second part will include cognitive stimulation with reminiscence. And the third part will be a quiz about musicals and with some music and singing to finish. If you have any direct questions for us or would like some more information, you can contact us by typing into the comments box and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Also, there's a link for our website where you can register for further activity sessions, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. So if you've just joined us, today's session's aimed at people living with dementia in the mild to moderate stages, and today's session will be broken down into 3 parts. We'll have some physical exercise to start with, followed by some cognitive stimulation with reminiscence, and then a quiz based on musicals with some music and singing to finish. So let's get started. We're going to be doing some exercises now. So if there's anyone in your house that hasn't joined you yet, now's a good time to ask them to come and we can all do our exercises together. Now the exercises that we'll be doing today are going to be focusing on good posture as well as flexibility of our shoulders. Now it's really important to have good posture to help keep us pain-free and also to make our breathing a bit easier. And both of these things will help us carry out our daily activities a lot more easily. Often when we're spending a lot of time sitting down indoors, we're not really thinking about our posture, and that can cause us to come forwards with our head down, shoulders down and our spine curved. And often it takes a bit of conscious effort to then sit up with our ribs lifted, our shoulders back, our head looking straight forwards, and to have more improved posture. So the first exercise that I'll be doing today is going to be moving between this more relaxed posture and the more upright, better posture. So if we start with our feet on the floor, a few inches apart, our hands on our laps, and as we breathe, we start with our head down and our shoulders down. As we breathe in, we lift our ribs, put our shoulders back and look straight ahead. As we breathe out, our head comes down and we relax. So breathe in, lift up your ribs, shoulders back, looking straight ahead, breathe out and relax. So we're going to repeat these moves 10 times, and I've picked some music for us to do that too, and it's the music of Glenn Miller, who was a really popular trombonist and big band leader, and his music's really upbeat, so I thought that would be a good one to exercise to. It's always a bit easier to exercise to music, I think. So let's get the music on. Okay. So hands in our laps, get ready for number 1. Okay, 1, breathe in, ribs up, shoulders back, looking straight ahead, breathe out, head down and relax. 2, breathe in, lift your ribs, shoulders back, looking straight ahead, breathe out, head down and relax. 3, breathe in, ribs up, shoulders back, looking straight ahead, breathe out, head down and relax. 4, breathe in, ribs up, shoulders back, looking straight ahead, breathe out and relax. 5, breathe in, ribs up, shoulders back, looking straight ahead, breathe out and relax. That's us halfway. Take a couple of breaths here. Alright. Number 6, breathe in, ribs up, shoulders back, looking straight ahead, breathe out, head down and relax. 7, breathe in, ribs up, shoulders back, breathe out, head down and relax. 8, in, ribs up, shoulders back, looking straight ahead. Breathe down, head down and relax. 9, breathe in, ribs up, shoulders back, looking straight ahead. Breathe out, head down and relax. 10, breathe in, ribs up, shoulders back. Breathe out and relax. Take a breath. That's great, well done. So the next exercise we're going to look at is making sure that our shoulders are in a good position to help us keep good posture. So same again, feet on the floor a few inches apart. Start with our hands in our laps in relaxed position. So when we breathe in and lift our ribs, this time we're going to lift our elbows up to shoulder height with our fingertips touching. And as we breathe out, we bring our hands back down to our laps again. So breathe in, ribs up, elbows up to shoulder height. Breathe out, hands back to lap and relax. So we're going to do that 10 times as well. We'll have 10 repetitions of that. Okay. 1, breathe in, ribs up, elbows up. Breathe out, hands back to lap and relax. 2, breathe in, ribs up, elbows up. Breathe out, hands to lap and relax. 3, breathe in, ribs up, elbows up. Breathe out and relax. 4, breathe in, ribs up, elbows up. Breathe out and relax. 5, breathe in, ribs up, elbows up. Breathe out and relax. 6, breathe in, ribs up, elbows up. Breathe out and relax. 7, breathe in, ribs up, elbows up. Breathe out and relax. 8, breathe in, ribs up, elbows up. Breathe out and relax. Nearly there. 9, breathe in, ribs up, elbows up. Breathe out and relax. Last one, number 10. Breathe in, ribs up, elbows up. Breathe out and relax. Take a couple of breaths. Very good. So we'll move into our final exercise now. This last one's going to look at keeping our shoulders nice and flexible. So we're going to do some shoulder circles. So again, feet on the floor. This time, instead of having your hands in your lap, if you can have them more loosely by your side, that would be great. But hands in lap will work just as well. Okay, so when we breathe in this time, we lift our chest, we also lift our shoulders up. Then when we breathe out, we bring our shoulders right back, down and round in a circle. So breathe in, ribs up, shoulders up. Then breathe it out, right back round in a circle. I'm going to show you this side on as well, because I think it'll be a bit clearer. So feet on the floor, arms loosely by your side if you can. So breathe in, ribs up, shoulders up. Breathe out, back round and relax. Breathe in, ribs up, shoulders up. Breathe out, bring your shoulders right back round and relax. I can feel mine crunching away there, so I think it's doing some good. So we're going to do 10 repetitions of these. Okay, so breathe in, ribs up, shoulders up. Breathe out, bring them right back round and relax. Number 2, breathe in, ribs up, shoulders up. Bring them right back round and relax as you breathe out. Number 3, breathe in, ribs up, shoulders up. Breathe out, bring your shoulders right back down and relax. Number 4, breathe in, shoulders up. Breathe out, bring them right back down and relax. Number 5, breathe in, ribs up, shoulders up. Then bring them right back round and relax. We'll just take a couple of breaths here at the halfway stage. Okay, number 6. Breathe in, ribs up, shoulders up. Bring them right back round as you breathe out and relax. Number 7. Breathe in, ribs up, shoulders up. Bring them right back round and relax. Number 8. Ribs up, shoulders up. Breathe out, bring your shoulders right back down and relax. Number 9. Breathe in, ribs up, shoulders up. bring them right back down and relax. And the last one, number 10. Breathe in, ribs up, shoulders up. Breathe out as you bring your shoulders back round and relax. Here we go. So that's us done some exercises to try and keep our shoulders flexible, to try and improve our posture. So we can improve our posture just by sitting up straighter, lifting our ribs, having our shoulders back and looking straight ahead. Get our shoulders in the right position by lifting our elbows up so they're parallel with our shoulders. And then we can increase the flexibility of our shoulders by moving our shoulders up and round in these circles. So thank you very much for joining us for our exercises this morning. That was great. Thank you. Now we're going to do some cognitive stimulation and reminiscence activities. So now's a good time, if there's anyone else in your house that hasn't joined you already, to ask them to come in and we can all do this together. So here we are, it's the first week in April 2020 and it's a beautiful spring day here where I am in Oxford, and I wonder what the weather is like where you are today. The sun is shining here, but it's still quite cool. It's about 10 degrees, so not too warm, but typical for this time of year, typical for early spring. So I thought we could begin today by going back in time and looking at a few events that happened during this week in history, but long ago. So first of all, we're going back to 1889. That's 131 years ago. So back in 1889, the Eiffel Tower in Paris opened its doors to the public for the first time. And I've got a picture of the Eiffel Tower here. I wonder if you've ever visited the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Now it's made completely of wrought iron, and it took 2 years, 2 months and 5 days to build, which doesn't seem too long considering how tall it looks. I wonder if you know how tall the Eiffel Tower is. How tall do you think this building is? Well, after its completion, it was the tallest man-made structure in the world for 41 years. It was eventually taken over by the Chrysler Building in New York, and it became the tallest man-made structure. But the Eiffel Tower held the record until then. So how tall do you think the Eiffel Tower is? Well, apparently it's over 300 metres tall. That's 1,000 feet. So you must get an amazing view from up there. Now, in terms of monuments that you have to pay to get into, the Eiffel Tower is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. And back in 2015, there was nearly 7 million visitors to the Eiffel Tower in that year. And that works out at about 25,000 visitors a day, so it's a really busy place. Now there's another building in Paris that up until recently was an even more popular tourist destination. It's a much, much older building and it took a lot longer to build. I've got a picture of it here. What building do you think this is in Paris? It maybe looks a bit different to how you've seen it before. Well, it looks like it could be a church or perhaps a cathedral. It's Notre Dame Cathedral. So they started building Notre Dame back in 1163 and it took almost 200 years to complete, a long time to finish this building. And up until recently, it was one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. I think it had 13 million visitors per year. So lots of people used to go there. Unfortunately, there was a fire in the cathedral back in 2019. So it's closed to the public at the moment. But thankfully, lots of its treasures were preserved. But it's going to take between 5 and 6 years before it can be reopened again. But then the public can start to go back. So I think you can see in this picture near the clock tower, there's some scaffolding there. But yes, the construction's now well underway, so they'll restore it to its former glory. So coming a bit closer to home now, and a bit more back to recent times, we're going to go to 1957, and we're going to go up to Norwich. So Norwich City Council were very ahead of their time. And they got a computer in 1957, their very first computer, to help them with their taxes and their payroll. They thought it'd be more efficient if they had a computer to help them. But the computer they got was absolutely enormous compared to the computers we have today, compared perhaps to the computer that you're watching this on. The computer they had needed a truck and 12 men just to get it to the building, inside the building. So here we've got a picture of it here. Can you see? It's absolutely enormous. But they reckoned it saved them about 20% of their usual cost to have this computer, although apparently it needed a room almost all to itself. So thank you for joining us for This Week in History. So we had a look at three things. We had a look at the Eiffel Tower in Paris, which opened its doors for the first time back in 1889 in This Week in History. And we also looked at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, which is undergoing some reconstructive work at the moment due to a fire last year. And we also looked at Norwich Council, who in 1957 got their first ever computer, which was so big it needed a truck and 12 men to get it in the door. So thank you very much for joining us for this activity today. We're going to do a quiz now based on a very famous musical and then have some music for us all to sing to. So now's a good time, if there's still some people in your house who haven't joined you, to ask them to come along and we can all have a sing together. So we're going to start by looking at one of the most famous musicals of all time, The Sound of Music. Now it came out in the cinemas in 1965. I wonder if you went to see it at the cinema when it came out. It was so popular in America when it was first released that it ran at the cinema there for years. I wonder if you can guess how many years The Sound of Music was on at the cinemas in America. Now, the story is that it was set in Austria during the Second World War, and it's about a nun turned nanny called Maria. I wonder if you can remember the name of the actress who played Maria in The Sound of Music. Now, she played a nanny in another film at the time called Mary Poppins. Except Mary Poppins only had 2 children to look after. Maria had about 7 children to look after, so that must have been much more demanding for her. Now, The Sound of Music is full of beautiful songs written by Rodgers and Hammerstein. They were a very famous songwriting duo, and they wrote music for lots of musicals through the 50s and 60s. A lot of them were for the stage, and a lot of them also went onto the screen, like The Sound of Music. I wonder if you can think of the names of some other musicals written by Rodgers and Hammerstein. They wrote quite a few, and most of them contain very popular, well-liked songs. So there's our 3 questions. How many years was The Sound of Music on at the cinema in America when it was first released? What's the name of the actress who played Maria in The Sound of Music? That's the main character, Maria. And can you think of the names of any other musicals written by Rodgers and Hammerstein? So while we're having a think about the answers to these questions, I thought we could perhaps sing one of the songs from The Sound of Music. Now, this song, at the time, many people thought that it was a traditional Austrian folk song. It sounded so authentic, but it was actually written specifically for The Sound of Music. And it was also one of the last songs that Rodgers and Hammerstein ever wrote. It's a really beautiful song, and I'm sure you'll all know the words to it. So let's have a go at that just now while we're thinking about the answers to these questions. So I'm sure you know this song. It's called Edelweiss. Oh, Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright, you together again this time. Let's do it again. Oh, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright, you look happy to meet me. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow, bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever. Very nice. Thank you for singing with me. So, how have we got on with our answers to our questions? Well, the number of years that The Sound of Music ran at the cinemas in America was 4.5. It ran for a really long time. And the name of the actress who played Maria in The Sound of Music, of course, is Julie Andrews, who also played Mary Poppins. And some other musicals by Rodgers and Hammerstein include The King and I, South Pacific, Carousel, and Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma was another really popular one. It was based on a play that was written in 1931 and first went on to Broadway in 1943 before being made into a film in 1955. Now, the film starred Shirley Jones and Gordon McRae, and again had lots of really beautiful music in it. So I thought we could finish today with one of the songs from Oklahoma that I'm sure you all know, and that's Oh, What a Beautiful Morning. So let's have a go at that. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as the elephant's eye, and it looks like it's going right up to the sky. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the cattle are standing like statues. All the cattle are standing like statues. They don't turn their heads as they see me go by. And a little brown maverick is winking his eye. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. All the sounds of the earth are like music. All the sounds of the earth are like music. The breeze is so busy, it don't miss a tree. And an old weeping willow is laughing at me. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Oh, what a beautiful day. thank you so much for joining me today in this quiz about musicals and for having us sing. That was great, thank you. So it's important that we all take care to live well and to live safely. So thank you so much for joining us for our first activity session today, and I hope that you enjoyed taking part as much as I enjoyed presenting it to you. So we'll be doing 2 activity sessions per week, and you can find the details about these on our website and social media. So be sure to follow us, and all the details are in the description below. We look forward to connecting with you again next time. Bye for now.